Sawadee Ka. We're going to talk today about the two basic attacks that most everybody learns first. Usually when you step on the mat, maybe you'll learn how to stand first. Depending on who your teacher or trainer is, maybe you'll learn how to move, and you may spend a little time on that, and then you're going to learn how to punch the jab and the cross. Your jab is your straight punch with your lead hand, and your cross is your straight punch with your rear hand. Okay, so let's start by talking about where your feet should be set when you're punching. Usually when you move around on the mat, you're going to be in a shallower stance like this. This is so that you can pop up into any attack, and you can also pop up and throw your blocks. Okay, if you get into a deeper stance like this when you're moving around, if you try to move around like this in the Muay Thai, you can have trouble guarding against attacks on this side or this side. Okay, you're going to need to drop back to block. It can throw you off balance. So most of the time when you're moving around on the mat, you're going to be in a shallower stance like this. This is not effective to punch because when we punch, we twist our hips and our shoulders into our punches coming out through our arms. So from this stance, we're going to step forward. So when we throw the jab, we can actually come from this and step and jab, or we can step and end up in this boxing stance. A boxing stance, I can judge my stance by a vertical line. My feet should be on this left side and right side of it, so I could draw a line through the middle of my body, and I wouldn't be turned like that. Okay, you can't draw a line and hit both of my feet. If I end up standing like that, all my opponent's got to do is take out this front leg, and I lose my balance like that. So even when you step forward into a deeper stance, you're going to keep your feet about shoulder width apart. Now that I'm in this stance, okay, my hands are coming right off of my cheeks where they start from. Right hand's going to stay right where it's at. Left hand's going to shoot all the way out straight. My heel's going to come up and out just a little bit, okay? Not all the way out like that, okay? We save that for when we want our hand to go this way. We just want our hand to go straight out. So we're just going to lift our heel up just a little bit, okay? You can see if I just throw my hand out straight, I get a certain amount. If I turn my heel out just a little bit, that added my hip and shoulder to my punch. So watch it again, comes out, okay? If I turn just a little bit, that added hip and shoulder to the punch. So I jab. Then from this stance, when we cross, we're going to turn our rear heel. Our hip and shoulder are going to be added to our straight punch with the rear hand, and it's going to come out right down the middle. Turn, punch, and back. A lot of the time when I'm having people practice this, I'll actually have them place their hands behind their back. I'll tell you why. As the punch develops in the foot against the ground, you can feel it come from the ground up through the hip, shoulder, and out. If you don't practice without your hands and you don't get a chance to feel that, you can end up punching with your hand and then your foot's just following what your hand does. So it would look like that. Okay? That's not what we want. We want it to develop where our foot's on the ground, pivot, and it comes out through our shoulder and out of our straight arm and back. Okay? Cross and back. Okay. Jab, cross, and back. Okay. Jab, cross, and back. Any skill level and experience level can practice your jab cross, and anybody who spends more time practicing their jab cross is going to be better at it. I promise you, if you spend time working on your basics rather than your crocodile's tail kicks and neglecting the time that you spend on your basics, your jab cross, your movement, your straight knees, your elbows, you're sacrificing that time, and you're practicing techniques that's very hard to find a place to land in a competition or a fight. Short of maybe a one-shot hook knockout or something weird, in 99.9% of competitive fights where head punches are allowed, you see jabs and crosses, and you see somebody who is superior at their jab and their cross winning, racking up points in those categories. Okay? So this is very valuable no matter your skill level and experience level. So this is something that you should be practicing a lot, and the more that you practice, the better you're going to get at it. The principles are simple, but the ceiling is very high. You can get better at it and keep building upon that. So you do not need a bag. You can practice. If you have a mirror, that's going to help you out because then you can watch your body and you can see all the little details. Remember that for our jab and our cross, we want to extend our arm all the way. So I don't want to jab and have my arm go to here. Okay? I want to jab and have my arm go all the way out so that my arm fully extends so that I get the most amount of acceleration before I hit my target. Okay, out, jab. Now for our cross, a lot of the time when people are new to it, I will have them put their hands behind their back and practice turning, pivoting on that rear ball of your rear foot and turning that heel out, boom, so that you can feel your hip and shoulder tilting, spinning into your punch. Put your hands behind your back, pivot, feel that spin, feel that rotation. Okay, now bring your hands up, left hand's going to stay on your cheek, right hand's going to cross, boom, and back, okay? Cross, boom, and back. Importantly, we don't want to be too close because then our jab's only going to go from here to here. Okay, if we're in here, we can throw a nice short hook. Okay? If we move in even a little bit closer, we can throw an elbow. Okay, but if we're wanting to throw straight punches, we want to be far enough away that our arm comes all the way out and lands on our target, because this way we get the most acceleration that we can to our target. Okay, jab, and back, cross, and back. Just as importantly as we don't want to be here, shorting up our punches, jamming up our punches, we also don't want to be too far away, because we can trick ourselves and go, oh no, I can still jab from here. The problem is we need to keep our body up over our base. So if I end up trying to jab from here, I'm going to lean away from my base. Okay, now my weight distribution is messed up. I can't defend against anything that my opponent does if I end up jabbing like this. Okay? So if I'm back here and I go, I could land a jab, and I throw myself off my own base, right? My rear foot's barely touching the ground. There's no weight on it. So if he comes for a kick, all my weight is on this front leg. So if I come forward, boom. As soon as I go to this, when that kick comes up to here, there's no way for me to get my weight off of that leg and come up and block. A lot of the time when I have people walk the line, we do line drills. I have people walk forward, throw the jab, boom, block, and back. Okay, this is to make sure that you're keeping your balance. Okay? Then they can throw jab, cross, boom, boom, block, and back. Okay, this is to make sure you're keeping your body over your base. So same thing on the cross, obviously. So if I'm back here and I go, I could land a cross from here. I end up off balance. Okay? From here, I can't defend against anything that this opponent, this is just a punching bag, but my opponent's going to have 2 hands, 2 elbows, 2 knees, and 2 shins, and 2 bottoms of his feet. So as I throw myself off balance, I can't defend against anything that he wants to do, because I don't have my body over my base, ready to counter, ready to parry, slip. You need to keep your body up over your base. So as we come for this jab and cross, we're not going to compromise. Boom. Okay? My base is down here. My body's straight up over my base. Okay? Don't end up leaning your shoulders away. A little bit of pivot on the jab. Nice pivot on the cross. Okay? A little bit of pivot on the jab. Nice pivot on the cross. Or if you don't have a bag, no problem. Okay? You can practice, right? Moving around, when we move around when we're fighting, we got a shallower stance. We're going to step in, jab, boom, cross. Right? The other day we did that noodle drill, the pool noodle drill, where we walk the line. Okay? You can step in, jab, cross, and step back. Step back into your stance. You're walking the line. Jab, cross, and back. Okay? This is great for your movement, your rhythm, and your sense of distance. Okay? Make sure that you're throwing your arm all the way out straight. And cross. Okay? And back. One thing to remember, just keep your chin tucked. Okay? This way when you jab, straight punch on this side, this shoulder covers up your jaw on that side. Okay? And same thing on the other side. So when this comes back and you cross, this shoulder's covering up your chin. Okay? This is natural. You don't have to think about doing this. This shoulder is naturally going to cover up your chin as long as your chin is tucked in. Also keep in mind, if you're going to start moving around, if you start practicing moving around, you're probably going to step back into a more shallow stance. And then when you're going to punch, when you're going to do your straight punches, you step forward, jab, cross, and back. Jab, cross, and back. Up and cut. See you guys soon.